All right, Rob. Urban Meyer went on a media spree Sunday, I believe it was, or this weekend, and kind of told his side of the story. And he got some defenders. Brady Quinn here on Fox Sports Radio, who does the great show, Two Pros and a Joe with LeVar Arrington and our buddy Jonas Knox.
Yes.
And then Jimmy Johnson, who is a good friend of Urban Meyer's, reportedly. And Jimmy Johnson said on Fox pregame show, I was watching this live, Rob, but he said that basically Urban, there was a lot of backstabbing going on. He said when he was in Dallas, like he told Urban, look, your first year is going to be ugly. You're going to lose a lot. And he was 1-15 his first year in Dallas, Rob. And he said the difference was, though, that when he was in Dallas, he had his entire coaching staff from college, his administrative assistant from college, his PR director, his trainer, all from college. And he said we were all on the same page. And then he said Urban didn't have that in Jacksonville. And there was a lot of backstabbing. This is a direct quote, one thing or the other, because he didn't have his people. But he did pick his staff, Rob. So they might not have been the exact guys you had at Ohio State, but
you can't do that, Chris, because people have jobs already, right? Like he hasn't been coaching for a couple of years. What people waiting around waiting for him?
Exactly.
They're at other places, right, with their families.
I mean, Ryan Day is freaking the head coach for Ohio State.
So you can't. It's not automatic.
And like you said, it was his staff though. He did pick those guys ultimately. Right. So, but you saw Jimmy Johnson and Brady Quinn, they really defended. Here's what Brady said. Where can I find what he said? He just defended him. He said he really didn't have a chance.
This is the problem you have.
And we've heard LeVar on here say that they didn't give him a fair chance.
And it's none of it's true. And the problem that you have, and I'm going to just call it out. This is the problem when you have quote unquote media members who are friends with people and they're in bed with each other. Okay. This is what happens. So they're friends with Urban Meyer. They're going to make it as if it's everybody else's fault. The media had it in for him. People were backstabbing him. Urban Meyer did this stuff. I would love to hear Brady Quinn say, oh yeah, the media made him leave his team behind. I mean, let his team take off. He stayed in Columbus and got a lap dance that everybody recorded. Or that he kicked the player in the preseason. Okay? Or that he called the guys that he hired to come work with him losers.
Right.
I mean, the media didn't do any of that, Chris.
Right.
Or that he hired Chris Doyle. He hired him, and he stood up there at the podium and defended the guy up and down, Chris, when everybody knew that was a bad hire. Brady Quinn, Jimmy Johnson, LeVar Arrington, answer those questions. Stop putting it on the media because he's a friend, or you like him, or you were on the set with him. No, he did it to himself. He sabotaged himself. The media didn't do that. Oh, this backstabbing. Oh, they just didn't like him. Oh, he didn't give him a chance. Who was the coach in Denver? Vance Joseph? Chris, how many years did he get? Right. He got 1 year.
Coach in Arizona, I can't even remember his name, who got fired after 1 year.
Wasn't it Vance
Before
Joseph?
Cliff Kingsbury. No, Steve Wilkes. Vance Joseph was in Denver.
Steve Wilkes.
Joseph did get more than 1 year, by the way.
Steve Wilkes. That's his name.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Steve Wilkes got
Wilkes.
1 year.
But coaches have been fired after 1 year, Chris. Yes, the time had come. If he wasn't Urban Meyer, the college legend, right? When he stayed behind in Columbus, Chris, almost any other coach would have been fired right then and there. They didn't pull the plug because of his resume and who he was. They know that.
You're right.
Come on.
Look. And first of all, Urban Meyer was not fired because they were 2-11. Okay, he would have survived a bad season. Nobody expected him. I don't think Shad Khan he might not have expected 2-11, but he didn't expect him to come in and turn that team around immediately, I don't think. So that wasn't the issue. It wasn't that they did give him a fair shot, and he would have gotten next year. I'm quite certain of it. But to your point, Rob, I mean, it wasn't a witch hunt. Urban Meyer did these things.
Chris, I didn't even mention Tim Tebow.
In people's face. Right. To your point, he hired Chris Doyle and then essentially said, yeah, I did it. What?
Exactly.
I mean, really.
That's what he did.
And then we found out a day later, what? You better get rid of him because you got some black players on the team, all right?
Right.
That you need, all right? And then the fine, I mean, that wasn't a huge deal, but there was the fine, remember, in the offseason workouts. Then to your point, Tim Tebow, again, yeah, I'm bringing him in and I'm switching him to tight end, a position he's never played. Like, the arrogance, and fine, he was arrogant. That's not a crime. But everything he did, even with Josh Lambo, Rob, I'm the head ball coach. I'll kick who I want. He's lucky
that he
is
him.
So lucky that Josh Lambo didn't get up and beat him down. I mean, because grown men, like, if I come up to you, Rob, and just kick you, you're within your rights to start hitting me.
We will fight. Ain't nobody kicking me.
Right. These are grown men.
Right.
You shouldn't be doing it to kids either, but I'm just saying now we're grown men.
And Chris, I do want to add one last thing. When I say this, and I talk about Brady Quinn and Jimmy Johnson and all these guys, and LeVar Arrington. Dude, you can be friendly with somebody, but if they make a mistake, you got to call it out like you see it. Just, all right? You remember the Tom Brenneman story in Cincinnati, right, Chris? Longtime broadcaster. His dad, Marty Brenneman, is a friend of mine. Tom's a friend of mine. When that thing went down and he got caught on a hot mic using the F word, talking about gay people, you remember?
Right.
I called him out. It don't mean I don't like Tom.
Right.
What he did was wrong, Chris. I'm going to sit up here and say him and Hall because I know him, or he treated me great when I was in Cincinnati. You don't have to do that. And if your friend who's done something wrong gets mad at you because I'm doing my job, then I have to live with it. But I'm not going to compromise myself. And if you guys want to keep listening to these guys and understand most of them are in bed. They got connections because of agents and friends and all kinds of entanglements. And they're not going to be real with you. And they want to blame the media. Don't listen to them because it's crap. It's 100% crap.
That's why you have the media, because the media is supposed to be independent of all that. All right. And here's another thing that Urban Meyer said, Rob, as he was making his round Sunday on the media. He said, he was talking about the things he did. He said, just society has changed. You think how hard you pushed. I believe there is greatness in everybody, and it's the coach's job to find that greatness, however you do that. Positive encouragement, pushing them to be greater, making them work harder, identifying flaws, trying to fix them. I think everything is so fragile right now, and that includes coaching staffs. When I got into coaching, coaches weren't making this kind of money and they didn't have agents. Everything is so fragile where it used to be team. Here's what he's saying, Rob. Like, and I agree. I'm kind of an old school guy. I don't mind tough, hard coaching. And I do think in a lot of ways society's gotten too soft. And you've got a lot of people that never played a sport at any level determining, well, that's too rough. But there's a happy medium. A lot of things that went on back in the day were wrong. They were over the line. Bobby Knight, who Rob coached our friend of the show, Isaiah Thomas, legend.
Yes.
And Isaiah loves him. But Bobby Knight, and he was a legend. I went to his basketball camp in 6th grade.
Did he slap you around?
No, I mean, I was a tough little kid. No, I'm just like, but he did. It was great. He came and talked to us, and he showed us film and talked about the film. He was great at the camp with us little kids, but Rob, a lot of the things he did, he had a whip at practice at times. He choked the kid. That's what ultimately was his downfall. He threw a chair across the court once. Like, Bobby Knight was over the top. You could say, oh, that's old school. No, he went too far. And some of the old school coaches went too far. And I get Urban Meyer feeling like, man, when I came in, and even, heck, when he was probably at Ohio State a few years ago, you could do, you could say what you wanted. You're the head ball coach, as he said, and what you say goes. But even then, it was probably too far over the top at times of what he did, Rob. And it's a different day. And so there's a happy medium. Again, I don't think we need to go too soft where you can't yell, you can't correct, you can't reprimand with force and things like that. But we don't want to go back to what it was in the old days either, where coaches were just running amok and the players, you could do anything you wanted to them. So it's not, you can't kick a kid no matter what, even at Ohio State. You kicking somebody, like I said, he's lucky nobody got up and smacked him around.